Hello. Hello. We are waiting for Joe. Um, so Joe is an author, a coach, a teacher, and he helps teams and adults with managing the road to success and um, just educates them, inspires them, keeps them motivated. He works with teenagers and college students as well. There he is. Let me see here. Sorry. Oh, Lord. There we
Hey,
are.
hello. We're here. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm awesome. Doing well. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your platform.
I appreciate you joining me. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, we have a few people. Okay, Love Moni and Optimal Living Publisher. Okay.
Yes,
Hi,
yes.
everybody. Thank
Good
you for
talk.
joining. Yeah, so
Appreciate that.
I was running down your expertise while we were waiting. So Joe is an author, a coach, a teacher, just basically helping teens and college kids just manage the road to success, especially during this time, which is a little different. I think it's just a different landscape now with the pandemic, and they're saying children are really having a hard time, just managing, as we all are probably, but they're so
Mhm.
young, you know what I mean, and they don't necessarily have the tools to manage, you know. Um,
That's
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, and me and Joe went to Virginia State together, everybody. So we've known each other
That's right.
since
You
we were
can't see my shirt, but I got my shirt on right there. So we're gonna have
Virginia
fun.
State. I only
That's
went
right.
1 year. I'm really Norfolk State. I represent Norfolk State harder, but Virginia State's still in my heart.
It's all
We
good.
had a
It's
good time.
BA. Okay.
Yeah, so let me
Yeah.
see. So I would like to touch on some of the information in your book. Like, so
Okay.
what are the eight steps to success? Like a few of them.
Sure. Well, just pretty much in my book, I know it's gonna look backwards, but Anatomy of Good Decision Making is the name of my book. And
Okay.
it's a yeah, that's my book. Um, it's on Amazon and Books a Million. But I wanted to share the 8 steps because the purpose behind the 8 steps, everybody wants to make decisions that'll get the best outcome. Sometimes it's not the ideal outcome, but it may be the better outcome of your options.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up for me, whether it was in high school, middle school, or even as a advisor in college, I meet people and we're all faced with a decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to know, what is it that we can do to try to make the best effort to have the best outcome at the
Mm-hmm.
end. Okay.
Yep.
And also in this book right here, I share stories, and Miss Tanisha Shaw actually is in there right now from Optimal Living magazine.
Oh.
Her story is chapter 12 in the book, and you'll hear about the decision she made to get to the outcome that she's where she is right now. And I'm excited for her and her journey where she is right now.
Awesome.
But to give you a little heads up, the 8 steps, here they are. There's always a source of influence that we encounter every day, no matter what it is. It could be at work, it could be at home, but something that we're encountering that's going to trigger a thought. Okay. Now, what is that influence? It could be something that we experience currently right now,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a thought based on something that we've learned in the past, something we just are learning right now, and we have a thought about that. And that thought leads to a feeling. All right.
Mm.
So normally to consider what I'm saying is like, you think about, should I eat this apple pie? Right. And your goal is to, you know what, I'm trying to lose a couple pounds, but this apple pie is something that I desire. Okay. But I know last time I did this, I gained some weight. So you have a thought about it. Then you have a feeling as a result of, should I eat this pie? How does it make me feel right now? Do I feel funny about eating this pie, or am I, excited about the opportunity to eat the pie? Okay. So that feeling is going to contribute to a decision. That decision is not an action. It's that point where you begin to consider, am I going to eat the pie, or am I not going to eat the pie? And forgive me if I'm sounding too barney, too practical, but the purpose of my book is not to sound like a textbook, like I'm a professor, but it's to break the common sense into practical application so everybody can take the information and apply it wherever they are. All right. So do you eat the pie or not? Okay. So if you decide to eat the pie,
I'm gonna eat the pie.
Okay.
I'm gonna eat that pie. Okay.
Yeah, I like apple pie too. Okay. So if you decide to eat that pie, what's going to happen is that's the action. You decided to move. You made a decision to move, and you're going in the direction of the pie being eaten. So what happens after you have the action, if you continually going down the path when faced with that apple pie, am I going to continue to eat this pie because it made me feel this way when I do it? That becomes a habit. All right. And that habit becomes pretty much a character if that's how you respond every time when you encounter that apple pie.
Wow.
You know what? It makes you feel good. You want it. This is what it does for you. It becomes a habit.
Wow.
All right. And it turns into your character because that's the result of it. And then it leads you to your disposition where you are. It could be meaning that you have gained weight or that you feel uncomfortable with yourself because of what you've done.
Yep.
It was an uncomfortable decision. So that's the 8 steps: the source, the thought, the feeling, the action, the decision, the action. Okay, becomes a habit, character, and then your destination or disposition where you are currently.
And I love how you broke it down, and I love that you used food as an example, because I know one thing about, like, me, I love food. It's one of my things in life, but I'm definitely a foodie. But when I think apple pie, I think family, I think grandma, I think Christmas, I think Thanksgiving. Like my whole thing is, oh, it's a celebration. And sometimes if you eat an apple pie every day, yeah, you're right, it's not good. But if you don't make it your character, that's what I got out of what you're saying. Like, because I feel like it's to break a habit. Sometimes it's like, okay, not Monday, but maybe Thursday I'll have the pie, or maybe just I'll have pie on Sunday. And then eventually it's like, oh, I've only had one pie a month. And then before you know it, you kind of built that muscle, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna have to write that down. I mean, I have your books. I need to revisit it for sure.
I appreciate that. Check it out.
Yeah, and you know what? So I have a lot of friends with teenagers, like a lot of teenage boys, and a lot of the mothers are single moms, and they're having a really hard time with their sons right now. And they, I mean, they're not desperate. I spoke to a friend today, and she just sounds like she's trying all she can to keep her son, you know, together and encouraged to go to school, and he's a little depressed. And I don't know, I'm sure you encounter that at the school that you work at, because you work with high school kids. I'm sure you encounter that. Like, what are some things that I could maybe tell her, or just, she's not on the IG right now, but maybe give her the video so she can kind of use some, different methods to deal with her son. And he's a teenager, he's very combative. He talks back. He's doing teenage stuff, but it's inappropriate,
Okay.
So what would you?
I get it.
We have more people. Hello. Anyway, okay.
Right. Welcome, everybody.
That was a loaded question, but because I hear it all the time. Everyone is having a hard time with their teenage boys and girls right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
And just so you know, I'm not a counselor. I'm just letting you know right off the bat.
Oh, okay.
But okay, but what I can share with you is from what I've learned as in counseling school. I'm not a counselor, licensed counselor, but what I can share is that first of all, there are chemical imbalances, there are medical induced or medication induced behaviors
Hmm.
that can occur, and sometimes those are harder to manage than others.
Hmm.
So if you're a parent of a child that's having some type of behavioral issue, first you want to identify, is this something that is, what can be contributed? What is the influence that can be contributing to that behavior? You
Hmm.
need to go back. Like I was sharing about the steps to your destination. Think about where you are or where the person is. Think about what contributed to that. Like if I were to take the steps backwards, disposition, which
Mm.
led to a character. The character can go back to the habits. The habits, how did that spring from? That came from an action. The action began from where? It became from a decision. The decision came from a feeling, and the feeling came from a thought, and then there was a source.
Mm.
All I did is go back to realize where did this all begin? Because once you identify the root, you can begin to adjust or identify. Once you identify what it is, make the corrections if possible to help get the desired result that you want, going back down those 8 steps to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
So, as a parent and you're dealing with a child that may be a little unruly, you want to do the best that you can to go back to identify where the root is and then make some adjustments if that influence is still present so that the following steps can be a little bit better. Nothing's neat and easy. I'm gonna tell you that
Oh,
nothing's gonna be an easy
oh,
process.
I
But
know.
what you are is you're making a minor adjustment. You're changing it by a degree or two.
Yeah.
Um, there was a analogy that was used a long time ago that if an airplane is 1 degree off course and is traveling for 5 hours, if there's no correction in that change of direction, that 1 degree, you're not going to land in your desired spot. You
Mm.
know what I mean? It's going to take you off course. But
Hmm.
once you identify where the error is, you can begin to make the correction. You may not get there as soon as you want to, but you're going to get to where you want to be once the corrections are being made.
Thank you. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, Let me see. So I have another question.
Mhm.
What's one of your greatest accomplishments that you know you accomplished because of your decision making? Professional,
Wow.
personal, yeah, whatever.
Okay. Uh, Actually, writing my book was a great accomplishment for me. It was
Mm.
something that I never planned on doing in my life, was to be an author. But the thought was in my mind is, what if I wrote a book about something that inspires me or something that gets me motivated to do something that it'll possibly have a positive impact on somebody else. If I didn't do it, it'll always be a thought in the back of my mind saying, you know what if? And I don't want to live with regrets. So what I do is a lot of times in this instance, to answer your questions, I said, all right, let me think about this. Do I want to put it out there? Do I want to subject myself to what people may think or whatever? And then it got to a point where it's like, you know what? This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I really don't care what people think, because what I'm doing is not only to benefit, it's not just to benefit me. It's not a selfish thing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
something good for the greater good. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to help people. And that's part of who my character is, to be able to help them in the best way I can. Sometimes it's a detriment, but
Yeah.
it's part of what I do. My job is part of me. I'm part of
Mm-hmm.
my job.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my greatest accomplishment, writing that book.
You know, I relate to you because when I started my puzzle company, I didn't tell anybody. I mean, I launched, I was selling puzzles. I told like my family and a few close friends. And I don't know, I just wanted to keep it kind of as like to myself for a while. And then because again, you're right, people are going to criticize everything. So I had to like build myself up before I was able, you know, to not throw myself to the wolves, but you know how it is. Like once people see you're doing stuff, oh, you should do it this way or you should do that and
Right.
all that stuff. So I had to build myself up to that too. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me see. So, so what do you do to relax? What are your mindfulness tools that you use.
You know what?
I
One of
love
the best
you,
things that I
Joe.
do,
We have a bunch
I
of
like,
people. We
I
have
like
a party going on. Okay.
we got a party going on. I appreciate that. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. Absolutely. Um, I
Mhm.
like to walk sometimes in the
Mhm.
morning, before it gets busy.
Mhm.
It helps clear my mind for the day. I like to accomplish small goals, early to say, yeah, at least I accomplished that. And, whether it be push-ups, whether it be just cleaning up something that I wanted to clean up for a
Mhm.
while.
Mhm.
Just the little things that let me know that I've accomplished something. I like to see that something that was on my mind gets accomplished. That means a lot to me. Not to say that I'm obsessed with it. No, it just lets me know that I can accomplish
Mhm.
what I want to when I put effort out to it,
Mhm.
and I'm okay with it. Yeah.
It creates dopamine or hormone when you accomplish. That's why I love puzzles, because once you finish it,
Mhm.
you're like, oh. I even do my little kid puzzles, like for the babies, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did a puzzle. I finished a puzzle today. Like you feel it in your body, like, oh my god, I feel better.
Absolutely. I purchased one of your puzzles, and the first time I got to the puzzle, I was like, you know what? And it wasn't the most complicated puzzle either. It was one of those puzzles that was like, you know what? I should know this. But after 30, 40 minutes, it was like, I got it. But then guess what? I know how to do it,
I
and it
know.
becomes easy. So it's just about putting in the action. It became,
Right.
I put it to work. I got my desired result. I'm going
Yeah.
to figure this out. And I made it go through. So now I can do it
I
no
know,
problem.
because even the 42 piece ones, they kind of trip me up sometimes. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me get my
Yeah,
brain organized to get this
absolutely.
going.
Yeah.
Let me see. So you kind of went over everything, like the steps to solving a problem, which is wonderful. Because I feel like we all have something that comes up almost every day or once a week, and we can just kind of. I do like a pros and cons list of stuff, but your your breakdown is really good to really you just sit with it for a minute before you just have an impulse and make a
Right.
decision. Yeah.
Now, in the book, it also discusses some strategies, problem solving strategies, decision making strategies. So it's not just the 8 steps. That's kind of foundation to a lot of the different strategies. But that's a practical guide. That's
Mm-hmm.
all my book is a practical guide. It's not trying to be something complicated, but within the strategies, within the theories that I talk in there that I glean from psychology,
Mm-hmm.
and just the practical application of the stories of the people that I shared in that book. You can hear and see. Well, you can't hear, but you can see or read how they began and how they ended based on the decisions and the choices that they've made.
Mm.
And that's what I wanted you to see it just practically. If you just take those 8 steps and read the stories, you can see where the influence is, what they were thinking and the feeling. And it takes you all the way through to where they are right now.
Wow.
Because everybody can apply that to their lives and make something out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like simple. You just have to take the time and the moment to run it through your
Correct.
mind. Mm-hmm. So I
You
heard you're
got
going
it.
to be in Alabama. Um,
Yeah,
Tell us
that's
more
my goal
about
right
it.
now. Yes, I've been invited to the Black Women's Hookup Network in Alabama.
I love
Yeah,
it. I love it. I
it's,
love it.
it's in August. That's
Okay.
right. It's at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute on August
Oh,
20th.
oh,
And my book right now, my book is in Birmingham at a bookstore called Homecoming Books, Coffee and Books.
okay.
But it'll also be after that event in the museum bookstore or the Institute's bookstore.
That's
So I'm
awesome.
excited to share my information through this book
That's awesome.
to Birmingham.
That's gonna be that.
Yeah.
There's some good food in Birmingham. Just so you be
You know
ready.
what?
Some good
I'm all
food.
for it. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm gonna ask
Mhm.
people that are watching. Does anybody have any questions for Joe? Because we're probably gonna wrap up. I only wanted to be on for maybe like 15, 20 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? You can leave them in the comments. If not, it's fine. No pressure. No
Yeah,
pressure at all.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. While the questions are coming in, I just wanted to once again thank you for the opportunity to be on. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
You can find me on LinkedIn. I
Okay.
have a, a YouTube channel called Kenley Speaks,
Okay.
and I have a pilot broadcast called Dissecting the Decision on my YouTube channel. And what else? I have my Facebook
Mm-hmm.
page,
Mm-hmm.
um, Joe Kenley Worldwide, and
Okay.
you'll see you can see some of my broadcast series called Topic Chats, which pretty much breaks down those 8 steps into manageable nuggets,
I
so you're
saw.
not getting it all at one time.
I saw
And
that.
you can see that on LinkedIn as well.
So they
Yes,
can just kind of go through it and get the information. Okay. So how much is
right.
your book? So it's on Amazon, right?
Yes, $9.99 on Amazon, and on Books a Million, I believe it's about the same thing too right
Okay.
now. Yep.
That's a good price. Good
Yep.
price. Yeah.
And if you visit my website at joekenleyworldwide.org, and that's Kenley, joekenleyworldwide.org, you can see a button that says purchase book there, and it's just going
Mhm.
to take you to the Amazon link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Well, I don't see any questions.
All right.
Yeah, but Joe, I thank you. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Keep doing the good work. Um,
Thank you.
just let me know if you need anything and be safe. Be safe and just keep doing what you do.
I plan on it. You too. I appreciate it.
I will. Thank you.
All right.
All
You're welcome. See
right.
you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.
I don't even know how to turn off this thing. I'm like, I don't, oh, X is right
It's
here.
all good.
Bye,
Bye bye.
everyone. Thank you for logging in.